Well, hello everybody. I hope everybody's also continuing to have a great week. And to all our Muslim friends, salam alaikum. Just because we got a cool new show for all kinds of people out there. It's Miss Marvel on Disney Plus, starring a new actor, Iman or
Iman.
Irman? I
Iman
think it's
Vellani.
Iman. Iman Vellani. Yes, thank you. And needless to say, again, I think it's another hit for Marvel. I think it's also a very solid show, very fun. But before I continue on, especially with our spoiler review, don't forget to ring the bell, give us a like, and don't be afraid to subscribe here and there. We appreciate. You know what? Scratch that. Subscribe and then give us a like here and there. We appreciate either way. So.
Exactly. Either whichever one you want to do first, as long as you do them, we're happy. You're happy, and we can continue talking about all this cool content that we've been getting.
Exactly. But yeah, so it just dropped also on the same day as episode 4 of Obi-Wan Kenobi. And yeah, basically it's also another story about a kid in New York who is just, she's about 16, so she's going through her teen years and stuff. And then she's also comes from an immigrant family, so she's navigating that while also being a teenager in high school. And she finds out she has superpowers. Who her main idol in all the Avengers world is Captain Marvel, and that's about as far as my knowledge goes for Miss Marvel. Which I'm kind of bummed about. After this episode, I definitely want to start reading more of her comics, just because she was pretty cool so far. And the actor herself, she has a lot of spunk. Very, very fun to watch. Hilarious. Got a lot of comedic energy to her. And I would definitely love to see her on the big screen with the other Avengers. What were your first impressions of it, though, Bern?
I mean, I'm right there with you. I really thought this first episode was a very delightful watch. Like you said, Iman Vellani brings a lot to this character. I don't have much exposure to the character like you. I haven't read any of the comics. The only real touchstone I have for Kamala is the Avengers video game that came out a year or two ago, and she was the main character in that game, and I really enjoyed her character there, and I really enjoy this interpretation of the character too. The actress, she brings a lot to the role. Like you said, she's very charming. She's very she's got that comedic timing nailed down, and she's able to portray sort of this kid in high school and all the issues that come in with that, and her just sort of daydreaming her life away. I thought was a really nice touch, and yeah. This episode, I think, was very creative. Not only with the character and what they've done in terms of changing the origin of the character, and we'll get into that as we talk more about it. But I think visually, I thought it was very creative as well. A lot of cool little distinctive things that they've done in the backgrounds with graffiti art and neon signs and stuff. I thought all of that was really well directed. So yeah, as far as first episodes go, this is, like you said, I think it's another good start for a Marvel show, and something as Marvel's been doing with their last few things is giving us something different. And with the other shows that we've gotten on Disney Plus and the movies that we've gotten, this feels a little bit more along the lines of something like a Spider-Man Homecoming. Where it's the story feels a little bit more smaller scale, and the stakes aren't that high. But we get to spend time with characters on this ground level, and I think the character of Kamala is a very interesting one so far.
Yeah, the whole daydreaming thing I could definitely relate to, because that was the majority of my life in school. I mean, I still daydream today, so I was nerding out with her in this episode. And I'm sure there's a lot of people already, the fact that, the show's already gotten a lot of flack online, which I disagree with, that, oh, she's Pakistani American, there's nothing to relate to, being like an immigrant and stuff like that. Like, no, there's plenty to do so. So I was just going into this with a clear mind, and again, I'm glad that this was a very solid episode. Definitely the more, I think, family friendly of all the Marvel shows so far. So I think that's a solid point. But shall we hop into the spoilers, Bern?
Yeah, and I guess just to add on to that, yeah, I mean, I guess for some people there might not be a lot to relate to with this character because it's a little bit specific, but yeah, as someone who has immigrant parents, there's a lot here that we'll dive into that I personally feel like I have a connection to and can relate a lot to, and I will say as far as characters go, I feel like the character of Kamala is probably the one that I could relate to the most on a personal level, which is interesting again for a character that I have not much of a familiarity with. So yeah, really cool that we're getting stories like these with Marvel being this far down the line and being able to, you know, freshen things up with different characters and different perspectives. It's always really cool.
It is. It's just because, again, like, diversity and stuff is never a bad thing, So I thought that was really cool. But again, guys, this is a spoiler episode, so if you haven't seen this, come on back and check it out, and let us know what you guys thought of the episode in the comments and stuff. But let's get started, shall we? So again, this is the beginning. I thought was really well done with just the whole all her doodles and stuff like flowing, like it was telling a story. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, she's got a little YouTube page.
Baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sloth Baby is hilarious. I'm like, what? Why? But okay, it kind of works. And then just again, very much like reminding me a lot of like Peter a little bit, where she has aspirations of her own, especially with the Avengers and stuff. Also kind of like I saw one thing where it's like. It was like a meme where Yelena has that face of like ugh, and then all with the new Avengers how they're all super fans of the originals. I was like, yeah, that's pretty accurate. Like we have
oh, that's true. Yeah,
Kate's like a Hawkeye fan, Peter's an Iron Man fan, and now she's Captain Marvel. So it's like it's kind of working. She's gonna be the only one who's kind of like a not super nerd really, but it's also like, well, your sister was an Avenger, so I guess that kind of eliminates that.
Yeah, but, and that works on two fronts too. Like it sets up the in context of this universe where we have these characters that are seeing this previous generation of Avengers and being inspired by them and their actions, and on another level we can relate to them because we like these characters just as much as they like them. So it's a nice little narrative choice that they've made with these characters so far that I didn't see that connection, and it's nice that you pointed that out.
I would just thank the internet here and there. With all the bad stuff on there's always a couple good silver linings in there. But again, I think it did a great job of like just putting the place that she's a kid, she's trying to just live life. The driver's license thing was horrible though. Like, good God, how do you not know reverse and drive? But she fucked that test up royally. Which I love her parents though, just putting against the instructor. Just how would you put her on the street? What is this? Like, who do you think? Like, that's you go all the tiny things. It's like it's more than that.
Yeah, like, did she not look into the mirrors enough for you and stuff? Like, it's on him. Yeah, just the overprotective parents is so funny to see.
Yeah, again, like they're very good, like complex characters so far. Like they're very tough on her. They don't want her to go out because they want her to have a good future. They want her to focus on school and be a better person and stuff. But at the same, but they also just, they're strict on that. But at least they're supportive of her. Like she just fucked up the instructor's car. They're gonna back her up, which I thought was cool. But and then when she's going to school and stuff, I thought that was really cool. Like her friends are really like chill with her and stuff. Very supportive of her Captain Marvel fandom because they're also kind of, well, at least what was the dude's name? Her buddy at school.
Bruno.
Yeah, Bruno was very supportive because he's also a Avengers fan too. Where they want to go to Avengers Con, and which I was like, yeah, it's basically just Comic-Con for the Avengers.
Yeah, that was cool.
That was very cool. And I just love the cast of her family too. Like I don't remember all the names unfortunately, but the mom I've seen in stuff here and there. The dad I can't say I have, and the brother I can't say I have. But
yeah,
they were all.
I have their names here. The mom is Zenobia Shroff. The dad was Mohan Kapoor, and then her brother is Sagar Shaikh. I probably butchered those names, but I just wanted to give them a shout out because they were so good. I in the brief moments that we see them in, and they're like, we understand their family dynamic. We understand these characters. I love the dad especially. He's such a goober and he's such a.
The dad's
so great. I loved him so much.
So much, yeah.
So just them injecting these characters with this so much personality, and we one episode in, and I love him. I love him so much.
Yeah, I'm definitely glad they're not super just like one-dimensional characters. Again, I can see some complexity to them already. So hopefully, if the writing's solid, they'll remain that and not just delve into a certain plot line with them or something like that.
They feel like real people. They don't feel just like characters that are written, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And then when it gets, I just love the whole bike riding scene where she's talking about, oh, what kind of Captain Marvel are you gonna be? Just because she wants visual flair. She, even though her suit's basically a ripoff of Marvel's original suit, she wants to have her own feel to it to feel natural, which I totally respect that because it's like you don't have to be a cutout of the original. You can do your own flair to it for cosplay. Because that's what couple of my friends have done. You know, one of them specifically, she adapted some of her suits for her, like what she wanted to see and stuff. So, I just love like you said, the graffiti art, how it was molding to her. Like we saw again, just really hinting at the multiverse storyline coming, where you know there was a Doctor Strange Marvel, there was a Princess Marvel, all zombie kinds of Marvels, Marvel. And then the zombie one, they lingered on a little bit because, again, Marvel Zombies is happening. And I think that's going to be a big... Hopefully that plays into a big, like, cataclysm. Because if you've read the Marvel Zombies comics, then you know that's a pretty intense universe.
That's supposed to be its own animated series, right? If I remember correctly.
Yeah,
like a spin-off of the What If episode.
From what I saw, it's about survivors living within that world. It's not going to be about the zombies themselves. With the books, it was mostly around the zombies. But this one's going to be about survivors in that world. So I'm very curious to see what happens.
Cool.
But yeah, and then the rest of the episode was pretty fun. I love her very eccentric idea of how she's going to get to Avengers Con perfectly.
Yeah. I felt like a Guy Ritchie movie, you know, her laying the plan out, how everything's going to go down with, you know, just crazy flourish of things that are not possible. like them riding the bikes onto the bus. It's like, yeah, no, that's not going to happen.
Or like Edgar Wright from Shaun of the Dead, where everything's gonna end up perfect. It's like, no, this is not how it's supposed to work. And then it doesn't, and then she ends up being late. Her whole hopping out of the house, just falling down the tree was great. Just that was my way up. It's like, forget about it. We're late. Let's go. Oh, God. And then she lost the bike. That was like, oh my God, everything that can happen that's horrible did happen.
Like, do you think it'll still be there when I get back in Jersey? No, like a 0.001 chance.
Yeah, that shit's gone. It's like, yeah, it sucks. And then the Avengers Con thing was really fun. Just, you know, seeing them geek out, playing with a bunch of stuff. Like, and then, again, we see the Natasha and Tony memorial, like, you know, thank you for your sacrifice. Because, you know, they did do a lot. So that was cool. And then earlier when she sees the little... I think the mom secretly knows what those little bangles.
Oh, for sure.
I don't know if I'm...
That's what I got with the way she reacted to it and the way that she speaks about her mother. It must be something that her mother did. Like, I think she used to be a superhero or something. But yeah, when Kamala pulled them out, like, you can tell immediately in her face that there's something that she's hiding from her. So it's like, okay, there's something going on there. I'm sure we'll find out what that is in future episodes. But I like that they planted the seed there, that there's something within the family lineage that is the source of this power.
Exactly. And then I love when she put it on and then expanded and stuff, and you kind of see the energy flow through her. I was like, what? That was really cool. Just because I remember, because for those of you who don't know or play the Avengers game or anything, she's an Inhuman, and her ability is to stretch out, kind of like Mr. Fantastic, but it's mostly like her hands and legs and stuff. She's not super stretchy, but she can expand herself. Yeah. This time at the Avengers Con, that was really cool. That the energy, like seeing it play out, was a lot better than what I originally saw in the trailers. Where, you know, when she's saving that one girl from her school that dressed like the original Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel, she's like, I love that scene too. Just what? She doesn't even like Avengers. Why is she here dressed like that? That's not even a real suit. It's like, kind of it is.
Yeah, like it's.
I thought that was just hilarious.
It's a little bit more of a nod to the older look with the mix of the newer looks. Like she was rocking it pretty good, but yeah, like I was there with her too, just like, oh, how dare you? Like, Kamala needs to win.
Just like, well, one of us is gonna have to change.
Yeah,
that's not gonna be me. So that was a really cool scene. Just the whole hand expanding and catching her schoolmate. I thought that was very fun. Again, just made me very excited for the rest of the season. This is definitely one of the better pilot episodes. I think that's what Disney Plus at least will say they have going for them, is that they do have solid pilots for the most part that really set up the tone of the show.
For the most part. Yeah, I do think this one, along with the Hawkeye pilot are really strong starts. And yeah, this scene was great. A cool display of her powers and how that works. Because like you said, it's a even though I don't know the character as much from the comics, when I saw it in the game, this wasn't the power that she had. So. That change seems interesting. It seems like they kind of had to do it because I think at this point there aren't any Inhumans in the MCU. I mean, we know we got a little bit of hint of it in something recently, but yeah, as far as it goes in the mainline MCU, the Inhumans aren't a thing. So it would be hard to tie that into her origins. So they kind of had to do something else, and for them to tie it into like her family legacy and what it seems like her culture and her heritage, I think it is a cool change, and I'm excited to see where they go with that in the episodes coming forward.
Absolutely. And then when she got home and stuff, when her mom was in the room, I was like, oh shit, she got busted.
Mm-hmm.
But after the whole little argument, she says, what do you want to be? Do you want to be this cosmic thing, or do you want to be a better version of yourself, Kamala? Make your choice. And she lays in bed, she's like, I want to be cosmic. Like, I want to be a hero. And it's like, I don't blame you, kid. Who doesn't want to be a superhero at that age, in all honesty? So, like I said, I'm very excited for the rest of this. I was a little worried because I'm like, again, it's a little more of like a kid show, I feel like. Just because, again, it's about 16-year-old girls. So, but overall, I think it's a time to be had by all ages. I think it's very very fun, very interesting, and definitely, again, it gets exploring another culture, especially with the music, this one, where we heard a lot more, I think it's supposed to be Pakistani rap, because she is a Pakistani American, so I thought that music was really fun to hear, and just kind of added a different flavor to it, made it feel more unique, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's kind of like what they did with Moon Knight, where there was a lot of Egyptian music in the credits and throughout the show, and really cool. I really dig the music choices. It makes me want to like look it up and see what it is, and bump it on the way to work. But yeah, like you said, this is a really nice start. Even if it is about a 16-year-old Pakistani girl, there's a lot of touchstones for me, to sort of latch onto, because it is a little bit of a universal story, for people who come from immigrant families, and everybody's been through high school at some point, I would assume. So there are certain things that little things that we can latch onto and that we can relate to with this character, and like I said, she does feel like one of the more relatable characters in the MCU so far. Her being a fan of a fan of the superheroes, and her coming of age. So yeah, that decision that she does seem to make at the end of the episode of her wanting to pursue this superhero life is going to be cool to see, because it's something that we haven't gotten too much from the MCU thus far. A little bit with Spider-Man. But yeah, it'll be cool to get that with this character, I think.
Exactly. And it'll also be interesting to see her with Photon eventually, because they're two sides of the coin. One's defending Captain Marvel and her disappearance. The other one resents her for it. So kind of interesting to see these two ladies get in that little argument and see who's right in that one.
Yeah, and it will be cool to see if Carol shows up in the show. I would like to see if Brie Larson makes a cameo appearance for her to meet her idol. That would be really cool.
You just got to go down to HR and just say, Carol! Carol! But for next time, guys, again, we got a couple more episodes of Obi-Wan coming out. We got a brand new season of this show, which I'm not sure how many episodes are there from this.
I believe this is also 6 episodes. I mean, that seems like that's what they've been doing so far, with their more hour long. This was like 50 minutes. So I'm assuming 6 episodes as of right now, but I'll check to make sure. But I think this is going to be a 6-episode series. And then we got The Boys, which we've got 5 more episodes of, I believe.
Exactly. Also, before we finish up, I will say I'm not a fan of that one guy from No Way Home who made a reappearance in this.
Oh, yeah.
At the end of this episode, that dickhead from the frick are they called?
I don't remember, but the Department of like Superheroes or something like that, like where it seems like they're enforcing the Sokovia Accords. That's at least that's what we got from Spider-Man No Way Home.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to this a-hole being on the show, but we'll have to see how that turns out. So, guys, like I said, let us know in the comments for those of you seen it. Did you like this? Are you interested in it? Or you kind of just whatever? We'd love to know. But as always, stay bodacious and keep on ranting.
Yeah, everybody. another cool series to talk about. Hopefully, you guys check it out along with us. But if not, we're gonna do it anyways. So until then, until the next one, everybody, be good and be safe, and we'll catch y'all on the next one.